Good people, what's going on? Welcome to episode 93 of the Dome Podcast. Look, like I always do, have to thank you guys, man, for the love. You know what I'm saying? On Twitter, X, anywhere you find any of my content, man, I appreciate it. Thanks for the love. I don't take it for granted, man. Whether it's one person or 10,000 people, doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just love talking about music, love talking about hip hop and every genre in general. You know what I'm saying? If you follow me, you know that already, man. So again, appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Now today, of course, I did a video on Twitter just talking about my thoughts on the J. Cole joint, which lead me to flash back into the ether days when Nas said, name a rapper I ain't influenced. You know what I'm saying? Now, some people say that being braggadocious and not a lot of truth to it, but there are people like Nas, like Pac, like Rakim, you know what I'm saying, like others who really did influence generations of MCs. And Nas has done that with his peers, whether it's Ghostface Killer saying Nas's favorite MC. He said it again recently. Whether it's Common saying Nas's favorite MC. Whether it's Lupe Fiasco saying it was written as the album that he studied. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. And we already know what kind of lyricist Lupe is. And so many other people who was influenced by Nas. You know what I'm saying? But then you look at this generation, and when you hear about younger guys, and these ain't young men per se, but younger as far as like eras after Nas era, saying his influence is very prevalent in their career, in the way they craft songs and the way they pen joints. That's saying a lot. You know what I'm saying? And again, the legacy is there, man. The legacy is so solid, man. And to see someone getting their flowers is a beautiful thing. When I think about GNX and that Man in the Garden, everybody know that was like his version of One Mic. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was deep, you know what I'm saying, on a lot of levels. You know what I'm saying? And Nas appreciated that and showed the love on IG to Kendrick saying, hey, King, keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? Keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? The culture needs you type of situation. You know what I'm saying? And then, I remember hearing, if I'm not mistaken, even Game, West Coast MC, of course, he did his version of like a rewind, if I'm not mistaken, on one of his earlier not earlier projects, but one of his projects leading up to now, this version of Rewind by J. Cole. That track 2, disc 2, you know what I'm saying? I didn't break that song down on the video last night. It was just more or less a quick reaction and appreciating Cole for putting his music out and us anticipating the fall off. But when you look back now at that video, which I watched today like 3 or 4 times, really listen to the lyrics, and just kind of deciphering what he's saying, telling his life backwards, you know what I'm saying? Starting basically at his funeral all the way up to him being born, all the way to before he existed. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, he took Rewind to a whole new level. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, some might like Nas' version better, some might like this version better. What I'm saying is, this is what's supposed to happen when you're inspired by someone. This ain't the knock Nas. Everybody know my thoughts on Nas being the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? But what you do inspires others. You know what I'm saying? And it inspired J. Cole to do a version of Rewind that's even more detailed, that's more vivid. You know what I'm saying? That's more, oh man, so much depth in that song, man. Like, if you really go back, this is not no shock value conversation I'm about to say right now, about to have. That's one of the deepest rap songs you can imagine, this new J. Cole song. Because, and I said last night in the video, Scarface is one of the deepest MCs of all time. He's one of my top 10 greatest MCs of all time. He has one of the deepest discographies of all time. And, I wrote an article about Scarface years ago on intothedome.com, which is now tonythedome.com. It was called, and I reposted several old articles. Thankfully, a lot of people was hitting me up about them. They enjoyed them, so I reposted all of them when I stopped the old website. Nevertheless, The article was called Scarface, the Grim Reaper of Hip Hop, right? But the reason why I wrote that and titled it that, and thanks and shout out to Scarface, he started following me after that, and he reposted the article and stuff like that. Never interacted with the brother before, but I do appreciate that, and hopefully he read it and enjoyed it. But I called him that because everybody know about Never Seen a Man Cry Till I Seen a Man Die. You know what I'm saying? And that was one of the deepest songs of the mid-90s to me. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like people just wasn't rapping like that, man. You know what I'm saying? But then on the album Last of a Dying Breed, he had the final track on it was called In My Time. You know what I'm saying? And it was literally about his funeral, about his family being there on the front row and his life and no regrets and appreciating him while he was here and all of this stuff like that. So a lot of people don't go that deep. J. Cole to me went that deep with this track. When you literally talking about your grandkids and everyone at your funeral, but then you telling the story, your life backwards all the way to before you was born, before you was thought of, man. Like, if you really do the knowledge on that song, I think it's probably one of the top 10 deepest rap songs. I know it just came out yesterday. So I know some people gonna say, hey, man, you're jumping the gun, man. There's so many other deep rap songs. Yeah, but I don't know too many that pop about your life to that degree. Like I said, that's a Scarface type song. Not too many people have songs like that to make you feel like that to me once you decipher it. That's like something you might hear on Tupac's Me Against the World. It's like something you will hear on a Scarface album. That type of depth, you know what I'm saying? And Nas has gone deep like that before, obviously. But my point is, you can hear the influence, you know what I'm saying, of the song Rewind from Stillmatic, which everybody knows was his comeback album. After people said he was somehow falling off, going on this little hiatus and things like that. Same way some people thought J. Cole fell off. They thought that, he didn't do the Kendrick battle, so he fell off. Hip hop is not that forgiving sometimes, right? And they was doing that to Nas. And I remember way back then, I was like, well, when did he fall off? Illmatic, it was written, I Am era, he got bootlegged by Napster. So like 15 songs got leaked, the whole album got leaked. But then I Am still got 4.5 mics. Nostradamus wasn't one of his best albums. Of course, it still was a platinum album, etc. He did a QB Finance joint for his hood. You know what I'm saying? The Jay-Z battle happens. Then he dropped Stillmatic. So 3 dope albums and 1 album that's okay, and that's a fall off. Then the Firm album and all that stuff like that, and all the guest appearances, I didn't get it. So then with Cole, he fell off. Every time he rhymes, he sounds superior. He sounds great. He sounds fantastic. So he drops that Port Antonio, he drops Clouds and all this stuff like that. And it's like, he's still spitting. He explained everything already. You know, someone today's like, hey, we just want Cole to come back and say, you know what I'm saying, what happened, man, and really be honest about it. Well, he was honest already on both of those songs. You know what I'm saying? And then he comes out with this track 2, this 2, and anticipation now for the fall off, to me, feels like the anticipation when we first heard like Got Yourself a Gun and Stillmatic freestyle and stuff like that. Like Nas is on the way. He about to drop something special. Well, I think Cole in the same vein as Nas right now. February 6th can't come fast enough. I think he's gonna drop something special. If it's gonna be a double CD, only a few solo artists have done a double CD. And like I said last night, to me, those are artists really striving for greatness, because Pac had a double CD, Big had a double CD, and then years later, Nas and Jay-Z both did double CDs because they know their peers did, because all 4 of those guys were peers. I think Master P had a double CD. You know what I'm saying? So you've had people had double CDs before. Mr. Morales, Big Stuff was a double CD, but of course it's not that traditional, maybe hip hop on every track to some people, but it was considered, if I'm not mistaken, a double CD. I think Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince had a double CD, and I know it's a group, but Jazzy Jeff is the DJ, Fresh Prince, of course, did the rapping, et cetera, et cetera. So it's happened before. So I think if he's doing that, it's more room for mistakes. So the stakes is high. Shout out to De La Soul, rest in peace, Dave. You know what I'm saying? But I'm excited if it's going to be a double CD. You know what I'm saying? And again, just like when Cole said, let Nas down, you know what I'm saying? Because he had said his homie back in the day called him like, yeah, Nas didn't feel that single. So when he did let Nas down, Nas jumped in the remix. Now he does the Rewind type song with track 2, this 2. the homage to Nas, it felt like, again, Kendrick Lamar, Cerebral MC, you do your Man at the Garden, is your version of One Mic. Everybody know that. When you heard it, you felt the vibe. You can even hear some of the energy and some of the flow and some of the just, all of that. And you can be like, you know what, that is his version of it. You know what I'm saying? And I hope other future generations do songs from Nas' catalog, you know what I'm saying, or inspiration. When you think about Second Childhood, it's a coming of age joint. And I think more great MCs and younger MCs that came after Nas will have songs like Second Childhood, which is necessary right now. When you think about some of the behavior of some people in the culture, certain MCs, certain producers, certain people just, whatever title they have, it's disappointing the way they're displaying certain behaviors. It's like, man, y'all hustling backwards. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully some of his great songs like that will keep influencing other MCs. You know what I'm saying? You got songs like, Dance, when we're talking about Dance with His Mama. More people have deep songs about their family. You know what I'm saying? Because, Joe Budden has done that before. Eminem has done that before. Several other rappers, of course, DMX, who, rest in peace to the dog, had plenty of deep songs. You know what I'm saying? Like that. So, and I do think that Kendrick and Cole are special, and they from Nas' tree of thought. You know what I'm saying? And I think that you see that in the way they craft songs, how serious they are about songs. And you got to think another influence is this. Up until this Hit Boy run, Nas didn't drop a lot. Yeah, he has a lot of music, but Nas always dropped every so many years. This kind of been uncharacteristic for Nas since COVID. 7 albums since COVID. Well, some people barely have 7 albums their whole career. You know what I'm saying? He's done that on the third quarter of his career, fourth quarter of his career, whatever you want to call it. But he used to always take his time. Kendrick is known to take his time. J. Cole is known to take his time. And I believe it's because, like Nas, Cole and Kendrick are cerebral MCs. They don't rush projects. They don't rush songs. If you listen to their songs, there's a lot of depth in their songs. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of character in their songs, a lot of energy, feelings. They never sound rushed. You know what I'm saying? J. Cole new song, he doesn't sound rushed. When you listen to Man at the Garden, you can tell KDOT was really thinking. It sounded like KDOT had One Mic on repeat or had Stillmatic on repeat. We already know the way Cole look at Nas, you know what I'm saying? So the influence is there, man. And, again, I'm looking forward to the fall off. I'm looking forward to see if Kendrick is going to drop another album this year. I like to hear a Nas and Kendrick song. I like to hear a Nas and J. Cole song. You know what I'm saying? It'll be very interesting for people who, like myself, who love all three of those artists. You know what I'm saying? And again, on a quick side note, I also love Drake as well. I don't know if Drake's ever been influenced by Nas or not. I can't say that. You know what I'm saying? But Drake, an industry juggernaut. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure, we know he's been influenced by people like Fonte, Kanye, and I want to say, and the Clips, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So, and maybe he has some influence, and maybe Jay-Z too, and Lil Wayne. I don't know if there's any Nas influence there, but Nas definitely has influenced 2 out of the 3 big 3. And Nas also said during Hit Boy Run on one of his tracks that Cole, Drake, and Dot are me, Hov, and Big. You know what I'm saying? So he said that before. So even if you are influenced of 2 out of the 3, probably big 3 of the last era, that's saying a whole lot, man. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Nas on his run. Shout out to you know what I'm saying, KDOT, what he did last year and the year before. Shout out to J. Cole, man. And look, J. Cole, I know he won't see this clip, but hey, you don't owe anyone else another apology, brother. Put good music out. You know what I'm saying? That's what fans need to understand. At some point, do you want music or do you want drama? It's over with. The battle got ugly. It went personal. Cole didn't want none of it. He didn't want to be involved in it. He backed out of it. He chose to. We know he is good as Drake or Kendrick. We know that already. He's one of the great MCs of not just his era, but in general. You know what I'm saying? So we just looking forward to the new project, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, and I love that joint. You know, that track 2 really reminded me of Rewind. Yeah, I love that Man in the Garden. That was my favorite song on GNX. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if this is gonna be my favorite song going to fall off, but it's definitely gonna be something I'm gonna keep playing. You know what I'm saying? And then that last that skit, it's not skit, snippet, excuse me. At the end was the drop of gem. What does that mean? You know what I'm saying? That's Mobb Deep going at Pop. Does Cole have any surprises? You know, Nas is sneaky. He had surprises for people, you know what I'm saying, in the past when he had beef or issues. I don't know what Cole gonna do. I mean, he's like on, 9.9 times out of 10, even if he's coming hard, like some kind of track where he poking his chest out, I don't think he would name like, Kendrick or Cole or anyone trying to battle like this. I think he don't even want their energy no more. They even worry about the backlash. People saying, well, why didn't you do that? You know what I'm saying? During that time you did that might delete later type thing. So, but yeah, man, it is what it is. Let's just enjoy this hip hop. Let's enjoy 2026, man. Once again, thanks for supporting. I want to have a little short video today. No need to talk you to death, man. KDOT, Man in the Garden, J. Cole, track 2, this 2. Nas influence, man. Peace, man. Y'all be good. 1.